Halo Infinite's newest update dropped this week. What was originally planned to be Season 6 was released as Content Update 29. Really rolls off the tongue. The name change was warranted, with CU29 feeling more like a weekly hotfix than a new season of content for an ongoing live service game. Instead of a 50 or 100 tier battle pass, we got a smaller 20 tier operation. Not to say we were blindsided by this, as 343 Industries had a live stream explaining that they would be stepping away from seasonal content for Halo Infinite and will be focusing on the shorter operations in their place. They also mentioned they had aspirations beyond Infinite, and even stated they're hiring as they look towards the future of Halo. But what does that mean for Halo Infinite? Is this the beginning of the end for what was originally touted as the next 10 years of Halo? Let's start with the update itself. Within CU29 we received a new armor core, a 20 tier battle pass, one new map, and some Forge updates, mainly the Covenant object palette. It's a good thing they didn't try and portray this as a new season because there just really isn't that much to this update. Operation Spirit of Fire runs for a little over a month, ending on March 5th, even though I finished the battle pass in a weekend. The new armor core is cool, I guess, for the small group of people that played Halo Wars. And I'm not hating, I loved Halo Wars. But is a new armor core really even content? I already had 8 of these and I can only use 1. Not to mention all the cool Spirit of Fire items you'd actually want to equip on your Spartan are locked behind an overpriced cosmetic shop. The new map is unique in that it has a center area that gives anyone within its boundaries unlimited camouflage. I genuinely enjoyed cheesing the sword, hiding in the small crevices, and slicing up my enemies. But I just can't get over how every map in this game just looks the same with the grey interior UNSC walls. You'd think they would have used the new Covenant palette to make a map that actually looks unique. The Forge updates are cool, but it just seems like another instance of 343 relying on the community to keep the game alive when they've done such a poor job of doing it themselves. Forgers will undoubtedly create awesome maps and game modes with this new update, but it doesn't excuse the lack of content we've gotten here. When it comes to the items within the battle pass, everything in here is just so forgettable. You could throw away every item in here and the game wouldn't notice. The funny thing is that I finished the battle pass and thought I might as well put on the Halo CE weapon model for the assault rifle, until I realized that I didn't even have it because it was only part of the paid version of the battle pass. I couldn't have made this up if I tried. The only thing noticeable enough that I even remembered it was in the battle pass was behind a paywall. It might as well just be in the shop at that point, since I'd literally be buying just that item if I bought the Spirit of Fire pass. If you didn't know, the Operation passes work differently from the battle passes. The 20 tiers are free content, but the paid version gives you 1 or 2 items that you can't get for completing the free version. But the Operation passes do not give you your credits back for completing it. Meaning, if you want to have every item from each Operation pass, Halo Infinite more or less turns into a paid subscription. Not something I'm particularly interested in. Needless to say, I was incredibly underwhelmed with the new update. But where does that leave Halo Infinite as a whole? As I mentioned, there will be no more seasonal content. All we can expect from here on out are these smaller operations. Surely nothing new is being developed for Infinite. The devs are basically just finishing out their current pipelines they're working on as Halo Infinite sunsets and becomes 100% reliant on community creations to keep the franchise afloat as we wait for news on the next big release. A far cry from the 10-year live service Infinite was supposed to be. But that shouldn't be a surprise. Every game that marketed itself as a 10-year game has failed miserably. And the leadership that came up with this plan are all long gone from the studio. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about it. I've been pretty vocal about my frustrations with Halo Infinite, and on one hand I'm kinda just like, good riddance, and I'm excited to move past yet another speed bump in Halo's legacy. But on the other hand, I'm disappointed that this is how the story ends. Halo Infinite ended up being a solid game in the end, but like every other 343 game, it was half-baked and destined to fail from the start. Just another game Halo fans can scream from the mountaintops, "Infinite's good now, come play our game," while the wider gaming audience laughs and ignores us until the next Halo is announced and we start the cycle all over again. I want to be optimistic about the next iteration of the franchise, but then I think about the failure after failure after failure after failure and realize I'm setting myself up for failure by looking forward to another game from 343. Not to mention the rumored move over to Unreal Engine and the problems that can create trying to make a game look and feel like Halo in a new engine. And like, do I really trust they can pull that off? A studio that hasn't been able to match the content of a game at release that came out over 16 years ago is just gonna magically make a banger now? I've been enjoying gaming a lot more since I moved away from Halo as a franchise, but there's still a big part of me that wants it to succeed. That wants a game so good that it's the only thing I touch for years to come. But hoping for that is optimistic to say the least, and expecting it is absolutely delusional at this point. I don't know what the future holds for Halo, but we're years away from finding out. In the meantime, I'm gonna spend my free time on games that deserve it, and I'm not gonna waste my time and energy hoping for something great from a franchise that lost its way long ago.